Begin with a tragic incident in Sokoto, where 2 persons have died in an accident involving the convoy of the state deputy governor, Muhammad Idris Gobir. The victims, a policeman and a photographer who were on the convoy, were returning to the state capital on Wednesday after the deputy governor's official trip to Sabon Birni. The Sokoto State Police Command confirmed the incident in a statement on Wednesday. The command's public relations officer, Ahmed Rufai, said the accident involved a pilot vehicle in the deputy governor's convoy. According to him, other persons who sustained injuries from the incident were receiving treatment at the Usmanu Danfodio University Teaching Hospital in Sokoto Metropolis. We move over now to Kano, where police operatives have arrested a fake medical doctor, Chidera Ugo, accused of killing a pregnant teenager by administering injections and drugs on her. A statement signed by the police spokesman, SP Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, said one Nura Balarabe informed the police that 19-year-old Ukasha Muhammad, a resident of Langal village of Tofa local government area, allegedly impregnated his sister Amina Bala, 19, and approached the fake doctor for help. The statement said Ugu, 24, and resident of Lambumbanki in Tofa local government area, administered the injection with the intention of aborting the pregnancy, but resulted to death of Amina. Kiyawa said the suspects were arrested and have confessed to the crimes. Investigation by the police revealed that the fake doctor has allegedly been administering injections on pregnant women with tragic consequences. In the meantime, the police had also arrested a notorious thug, Yusuf Haruna, accused of killing an imam in Jakara Quarters, Kano City. The suspect, 18-year-old Yusuf Haruna, otherwise known as Lagwatsani, attacked and stabbed the imam, Sani Muhammad Shoaibu, with a sharp knife at his back while performing ablution. In a distressing turn of events, the chief imam of the Jumat Mosque in Undun village, Tangur district, Bokos local government area of Plateau State, and a commercial rider were tragically killed in the region. Chairman of the Gun Allah Fulani Development Association, Garba Abdullahi, confirmed the incident to Trust TV on Wednesday. He revealed that a younger brother of the slain imam sustained injuries during the attack and is currently undergoing treatment at Dung Hospital in Bokos town. Adam Musa brings us the complete story.
This sorrowful incident follows closely on the heels of the last week's onslaught on approximately 23 villages in Bokos local government area, resulting in the loss of over 190 lives. Chairman Garba Abdullahi shed light on the sequence of the event.
It came to me as a surprise after the unfortunate incident that happened, and the efforts of the government from the federal, state, and effort of the security personnel to bring this issue to halt and stand still. It came as a surprise to us, very, very surprise. As one of our imams, Imam Muhammad Sani Idris, was killed in a cold blood. Him and his younger brother, when they went to their bond house to salvage some of the food that is remaining so that they will be eaten on. So they were ambushed, he was killed, and his brother is now hospitalized in Ndung village. Then this morning, inside Bokos town, one of the Fulani boys went to do his Okada business. He took some passengers only to recover his corpse, and they were all buried now.
Expressing concern over the recurring violence, Abdullahi urged security agencies to intensify effort to halt what he described as silent killings.
I am calling on the security personnel, on the security agencies to redouble efforts. We are appreciating what they have done, but they have to, because we have assumed that the security has taken cover of every place in Bokos local government and its environs, because we have learned that the president has sent in more security to safeguard lives and properties of the citizens, the Bokos people, both the Fulanis and the non-Fulanis. But these isolated killings are coming to in a surprise manner to us. So the security should put more effort. We are commending them for the effort they put. We are still pleading that they should put more effort to see that this killing stops.
This past week, Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, alongside service chiefs, visited the state to assess the security situation and extend sympathy for the recent attacks. During their visit to an affected community, the service chiefs vowed to bring an end to the needless bloodshed in the state. In Plateau State, clashes between herders and farming communities have unfortunately become a common occurrence, leading to a cycle of attacks and counter-attacks. The urgent need for lasting solutions remains a pressing concern. Effort by Trust TV to get an official response from the police and Operation Safe Haven were unsuccessful. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Quite a sad development there. Still on security matters, bandits who kidnapped almost 24 people, including the second-class chief of Kwanji and the senior pastor of the village in Yoro local government area of Taraba State, want the state government to negotiate with them before releasing the remaining 23 out of 24 people in their captivity. The call was made through the abducted chief, Umar Abubakar Nyala, and the senior pastor, Reverend Ayuba Elkanah, who are still in the kidnappers' hideout.
A short video circulating in Jalingo, Yoro and Zing local government shows masked gunmen surrounding the abducted victims who were blindfolded, one of them a pregnant woman. The bandit used Umar Abubakar Nyala, the second-class chief of Kwanji and the senior pastor of the village, Reverend Ayuba LP Elkanah, to present their demands before the Taraba state government. In the video, Nyala, who flanked by the bandits, said the kidnapping and other crimes committed by the gunmen were due to the state government's stoppage of grazing activities for their animals. He added that the abductors want the state government to negotiate with them or they will have no choice than to kill them in the next 48 hours.
Our abductors are demanding that the government should call them for negotiations. They said the government has treated them unjustly by killing their members and chasing them and their animals away from the states and turned them into foreigners in other states and countries when they are indigenes of Taraba State. They said they are on a revenge mission through these attacks and adoptions. They have threatened that if government does not respond within 2 days, they will kill us to set an example. What they will be doing in the days ahead.
Ayuba Elkanah, a pastor of the village and one of the kidnapped victims, also spoke on the need for both Muslim and the Christian bodies to intervene by calling for a dialogue between the government and the kidnappers in order to save their lives and avoid a reoccurrence in the future.
As the chief has said earlier, government should please negotiate with them to ensure our release. We call on the Christian Association of Nigeria and other Muslim groups to prevail on government to call these people for negotiations.
One of the 24 abductors was reportedly killed by the kidnappers a day after the abduction.
And to another sad development, a fire incident has occurred at Sobi Specialist Hospital in Kwara State. The fire, it was gathered, occurred around 8:35 a.m. at the COVID-19 center in the facility. A hospital source said an unidentified person had set an underground fire which spread to the COVID-19 center. The spokesman of the Kwara State Fire Service, Hassan Adekunle, confirmed the development on Wednesday evening. According to him, upon arrival, the firemen found one of the 6 wards in the center ablaze and immediately began firefighting efforts to contain it. The Executive Secretary, Hospital's Management Board, Abdul Rahim Malik, said investigation is ongoing by the board in collaboration with the fire service to unravel the cause of the incident. Following the suspension of accreditation and evaluation of degree certificates from Benin Republic and Togo, the federal government has said the sanction would be extended to more countries like Uganda, Kenya, and Niger Republic. Education Minister Tahir Maman disclosed this in an interview on Wednesday in Abuja. An undercover journalist had detailed how he acquired a degree from a university in Benin Republic under 2 months and was later deployed for the National Youth Service Corps. The federal government had immediately suspended accreditation of certificates from the 2 Francophone West African nations and launched a probe which the minister said should submit its report in 3 months. Maman also said students who patronize such institutions are not victims but criminals that should be arrested. He added that security agents will go after those with fake certificates from foreign countries, already using them to secure opportunities in Nigeria. A New Year's resolution is a tradition in which a person resolves to continue good practices, change an undesired trait or behavior, accomplish a personal goal, or otherwise improve their behavior at the beginning of a calendar year. With a few days into 2024, residents of Nigeria's capital city, Abuja, have been speaking on the significance of resolutions at the onset of every year.
For many, New Year resolutions have been linked to improved behavior and accomplishment of certain tasks, as well as positive disposition to certain issues. This is because these serve as reminders of the pledge or promise one made at the beginning of the year. However, resolutions to many others have become a cliche, as some who come up with them sooner or later resort to their old selves that they tried to change from. This scenario has made many to question whether or not it is important to make New Year resolutions, or what impact do these resolutions have on people who make them.
For this year, I just want to finish school before school finish me. It keeps you in check. Yeah, so whenever you're trying to misbehave or lose guard, understand there's something you always see what I want to achieve.
My New Year resolution basically is that all the stuff that I couldn't achieve throughout 2023, I want to project into this year. I want to achieve them and even more. So basically is that I want to expand my business, and secondly is that I want to strive for excellence. And I was able to achieve, there were 8 in numbers, I was able to achieve 5. So basically the remaining 3 revolve around family and all that, and I've not been able to achieve that, but I'm trusting God in the first quarter of this year I'll be able to do that. It helps you put yourself in check, so at least you fall back to check those things. Okay, this is what I set for so time. Have I been able to achieve those things within those jurisdiction of time?
It's a change in life. Maybe what we've been doing before, and now you find out that what you've been doing before is not right, and you want to go through the right ways. So you have to change.
Resolutions give directions and motivation to people who are excited to add new positive habits to their lives. These resolutions help one to move strongly to achieve certain goals in the year. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Still ahead, we'll take a look at how Nigerians want more time for NIN-SIM linkage as deadline approaches. Details of this story and more to come after the break. We'll be right back.
We started manufacturing leather since 1958. But the most important thing is that if the system is checked correctly, we won't have where we are now.
If somebody has depression, they may just be very irritable and unproductive in the office. So you find on average already about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 Nigerians already have mental illness, a mental health condition that needs some form of attention.
No matter how good an economy is, if the federal government goes bust, believe me, everything in the economy is just a matter of time it will go bust. So first of all, about maybe slightly below 70% is in federal government securities.
If government has banned importation of fertilizer and states are doing it at the level of governance, but I believe that
production and distribution of fertilizer should be left to the private sector.
This is the general multi-purpose card, and it has a chip here. So this chip is about 80 kilobytes. The one that you get from the bank for ATM is just 4 kilobytes. So this is like 20 times.
Hello and welcome to Creative Lounge on Trust TV. My name is Ahmed Mohammed Bello and I'm going to be taking you through my journey as an artist.
Are you interested in the latest news and developments in Nigerian politics, policy, governance and other critical national issues? Look no further than Daily Politics on Trust TV. Our panel of experts and key people in government provide in-depth analysis and commentary on the biggest stories in Nigerian politics.
And 33.3 million Nigerians are suffering from multi-dimensional poverty.
It's a much calmer Buhari than the Buhari who was in the khaki uniform.
Naira to Naira exchange rate is higher anywhere in the world. The Naira is higher than dollar exchange rate. So you want to...
This central bank governor you're doing, you must do it fast.
The number of casualties we have had, we shouldn't have had. Security as far as Nigeria is concerned, we have wronged.
From the inner workings of government to the latest on legislation, rule of law, implementation and democracy, we have you covered. Don't miss out on the latest political news and discussion. Tune in to Daily Politics, weekdays on Trust TV, your source for reliable and unbiased coverage of Nigerian politics.
Welcome back and thank you most kindly for staying. If you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. A reminder of some of our top stories. You heard that 2 dead in Sokoto Deputy Governor's convoy accident. Chief Imam motorcyclist killed in fresh plateau attack. Moving on to more stories. The Kaduna State Pilgrims Welfare Board has extended the deadline for the payment of the Hajj 2024 fare to January 31, 2024. To this end, the board has called on the intending pilgrims in the state to take advantage of the new registration deadline to make their 4.5 million naira deposit. The agency also said the move followed the decision of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria to extend the Hajj 2024 deposit date. The executive chairman of the agency, Salihu Abubakar, made this known in a statement by its spokesman, Yunusa Muhammad Abdullahi, in Kaduna on Wednesday. Salihu called on all intending pilgrims in the state to seize the opportunity and complete their Hajj deposit before the new deadline expires. He reminded intending pilgrims that registration can only be done through designated registration officers in all 23 local government areas of the state. The Nigerian Communications Commission had ordered telecom operators in the country to completely block SIM cards that have not been linked to the national identification number by February 28. Trust TV's Abdurrahman Umar reports that the mandatory NIN SIM linkage scheme that began in December 2020, as directed by the federal government, was one of the policies aimed at curtailing the incessant level of insecurity bedeviling the country.
Nigeria in recent years has seen an unprecedented rise in the level of insecurity across the nation, manifesting in kidnapping for ransom, banditry, as well as attacks on communities, leading to the death of citizens. As part of efforts to curtail these menace, the federal government during the last administration introduced the mandatory NIN SIM linkage scheme to help track down perpetrators of crimes.
Criminals used to use SIM in only one communication. Sometimes they can use 100 SIMs within 24 hours using one mobile phone. Now most of them exhausted the SIMs with them. If they continue to repeat and recycle the SIM, they can easily be intercepted.
Following repeated disregard and non-compliance to the directive, the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) has this time around ordered telecommunications operators within the country to ensure complete blockage of any unlinked SIM to NIN by February 28 operating in Nigeria.
You just have to be in tune with reality, and the reality now is that everybody must have a NIN. And everybody's identity that is on the NIN must be linked to your phone number and then be known. Otherwise, you will have no number to work with.
While the federal government continues to call on Nigerians to enroll to obtain their NIN, the procedure for many Nigerians has not been easy.
For Nigeria, it's necessary to pay that 15,000 because of two mistakes. Instead of 71, they put 67. And then with your money, you will be suffering again.
And I'm not too happy because of what I'm facing between me and these NIN people. Since this making me almost 6 months, I'm suffering here. Every day I will be coming, they will be turning me up and down. Go here, go there. Right now I'm from High Court, Metama. Reaching here, they still refer me to another place, so I'm getting tired.
Although it's been 5 years since the mandatory NIN SIM linkage scheme took off as one of the tools for fighting insecurity, one of the questions that remain in the minds of many Nigerians is whether the government is really leveraging the scheme to end the continuous kidnappings and possible killings of its citizens.
Well, for me, the end justified the means. The fact that since after these things were done, we're still having, the same level of criminal activities, or if not more, and nobody has been able to be tracked down, following some of the things that we're discussing right now. So I can say that they're not leveraging on it. Maybe they're still working on it because it was at the latter part of the last administration that it was introduced. Maybe they are not at the point where they can be utilizing all these things. But I know that these are tools that other countries are using and leveraging on to track down criminals. And that's why criminals in those countries avoid communicating electronically or digitally, because they know that they can be tracked. So I don't know why we are not leveraging on it.
As Nigerians continue to decry the cumbersome procedure outlined by the National Identity Management Commission for enrolling NIN, they are however calling on NIMSI to make the process seamless to enable Nigerians enroll before the deadline. Abdurrahman Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
We'll take it away from Nigeria now. Sierra Leone's ex-president, Ernest Bio Koroma, has been charged with 4 offenses, including treason for his alleged role in a failed military attempt to topple the West African country's government in November, a court in the capital, Freetown, has said. The court's decision on Wednesday could escalate tensions in the country, coming after the attempted coup and a contentious election in which President Julius Maada Bio was re-elected for a second term in June 2023. Gunmen on November 26 attacked military barracks, a prison, and other locations in Sierra Leone, freeing about 2,200 inmates and killing more than 20 people. The government said later that it was a failed coup led mostly by Koroma's bodyguards. They summoned the ex-president for questioning at the start of December. The former president condemned the attacks in a statement shortly after they happened. Koroma's charges, which also include misprision of treason and 2 counts of harboring, were read out while he stood in the dock, and some of his supporters cried in the courtroom. And in sports, the president of Nigeria Volleyball Federation, Musa Nimrod, has appealed to President Bola Tinubu to increase the budgetary provision for the Ministry of Sports Development. Nimrod made the appeal during an interview with journalists on the way forward for Nigeria's sporting federations in Yola. He noted that the Ministry of Youth previously took a large chunk of the budget, leaving sports with nothing to develop the ministry. Ahead of the African Games qualifiers in Lagos, Nimrod urged the players to see it as an honor that should spur them to put in their best. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. But remember, you can follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. See you again.